On the passenger planet, when it comes to the most important infrastructure, that must be the human factory transmitter. Passenger planet's magical global motion network teleportation technology. It relies on human factory transmitters to work. Finally got a chance. I, Willie, Norton, and Soodle. The four of us went together to visit the factory launcher. I asked Soodle, where is the human factory transmitter located on the passing planet? Soodle pointed to the sky. Under daylight conditions, you can see a silver-gray moon. Through the global movement network, the four of us reached the human factory transmitter in an instant. When we got there, it was huge. People can't see a reason in it at all. There are many very delicate metal rooms here. They're all connected. Mainly lead gray and silver gray. There were no light bulbs or anything. Soft light on all walls. But I don't see any virtual buildings here. Wow, that's pretty big. It's like being on another planet. There shouldn't be a factory transmitter. Should call the factory launch center. Yes, this is called the factory launch center. The most important device here is the human factory transmitter. Man Factory Launch Center. Not only does it provide teleportation services for the global sports network, it is also the center that provides energy for our goblin planet. It is also the core of the global public information network. It's a global information processing center. We don't use electricity like you do on Earth. You use field energy, Soodle says. Man Factory Launch Center. It's actually a transiting star energy launch center for power distribution and information processing. It's an energy reception center through stellar energy receivers to receive energy from stars. If this device were on your planet, it's called a solar receiver. Human factory transmitter like you. Geostationary satellites on Earth. Such a launch center. There are a total of 9 in our goblin planet. On other small planets near us, usually 6. This Man Factory Launch Center. It's one of the places I work, but I don't need anyone here. Only come here occasionally. I went through the public information network. Worked here remotely. Then Willie spoke, Brother Keon. And you know what? The core location of the human factory transmitter. It cannot provide teleportation service. Oh, I understand this. Like a barber on our planet. You can cut anyone's hair. Only you can't cut your own hair. Norton interjected. We are now walking at the Man Factory Launch Center. The felt gravity is actually artificial. There are many workers in the Human Factory Launch Center. They are all about 1 meter tall. When they saw us coming, they turned to watch. Maybe it's because I'm big. That caught their attention. There was a lot of talk at the launch center. But when didn't translate for me. I don't know what they're talking about. And we walked. We walked. The body suddenly lifted about 30 centimeters off the ground. The whole person is suspended and move quickly through the air. We went from walking to cruising. All of us. It will arrive soon. The heart of the Man Factory Launch Center. Soodle pointed to a huge. The toroidal tube says, according to the length of your Earth, the diameter of the ring is about 10 kilometers. The diameter of the round tube is nearly 1 kilometer. This is the heart of a human factory transmitter. Particle circulation device. The rest of the equipment is mostly auxiliary. There's another piece of important equipment. Stellar energy receiver. It's a lot smaller. Is designed to receive energy from stars. The stellar energy receiver is located on the circulator. Wait a minute. We can see. That one? What is the basic principle of a human factory launch center? Basically, the same principle as flying a flying saucer. By changing electromagnetic fields, generate positive and negative attractive force fields to affect the surrounding space and time to achieve. Norton is explaining to me. Suddenly, probably the manager of the Human Factory Launch Center, come out to meet Sudale and Norton. They entered a room. Looks like I have something to do. Lorton motioned for Power to accompany me to continue the tour. My curiosity and questions now have to ask Willie. How do flying saucers and human factory launch centers? Is it the same principle? Both UFOs and factories eat up the surrounding space. To influence the space, the distribution of mass and charge of an object. Will spoke in a charming voice. But it's hard to understand. I still don't quite understand. I had to keep asking. UFO and Human Factory Launch Center. How does it eat up the surrounding space? In what way? Willie said. Changing electromagnetic fields can produce attractive forces. Anti-attractive force field can leave the artificial field launch center at the speed of light. When they hit an object, it can make the space around the object disappear. At the same time, the mass and charge of the object also disappear. Objects lose mass and charge. It's going to fire up. Will move at the speed of light. Many strange properties will occur. That's all I know. In fact, I am not very clear about this knowledge. Willie took advantage of me bending over to talk to her. Suddenly put his head on my chin. Hands around my neck. Do you have any questions? What the hell is that? Field. It is a space that changes in a cylindrical spiral motion. Any more questions? Without it, my mind is rippling. No more questions. Powerful like a clingy kitten. Always around me. Sometimes get in front of me. Almost tripped me over. He also likes to request the Global Sports Network. Make his body lose weight. Floating in the air. Maintain the same height as me. Walk with me. Sometimes ride on my neck. I often ask it not to come too close to me. It doesn't even notice. But sometimes I really want to be close to it. And then suddenly she goes away and ignores me. Feel like we Earthlings. I can't understand their strange personalities. Me and Willie, hand in hand, automatically glide 30 centimeters above the ground. We're finally at the top of the particle circulator. Saw stellar energy receiver. It feels different from the shock of the particle circulator. The stellar energy receiver is a giant slab. There are lots of circles on it. The circles look like they were drawn on a slab. There is a black dot in the middle of the circle. Maybe a hole. It's round and can't be seen clearly. I want to get a closer look. Willie said this is not allowed to approach. Dangerous to people. But you can't get through. I asked Willie. Stellar energy receiver. Does it concentrate the light energy of the stars? Yes, 1 square meter of solar panels on your planet. It can only accept 1 square meter of solar energy. And stellar energy receivers can concentrate space. Compress 1 square meter. Can accept tens of thousands. Even hundreds of millions of square meters of solar energy. That's awesome. But if a spaceship flies by, will it be killed by this receiver? This is possible. We Goks have long been aware of this problem. So the space is gridded. Stellar energy receivers affect space that is gridded. It's not continuous. The impact on the spacecraft is negligible. What does gridding mean? Is that what it means? Mary ran his fingers through the air. A few horizontal lines. A few more vertical lines. Brother Kian, you are so smart. Should understand. Oh, I see. Actually, I still don't understand. Stellar energy receivers not only shine into the sky. It can also shine horizontally or downward on the ground. This can reduce the energy of the star in a certain place. Combined with computer analysis, can artificially adjust the atmosphere of the Gok planet. Keep the temperature within an appropriate range. Because our clothes are all virtual. No thermal function. It's like putting a big air conditioner on the wrapper. This will control the weather on our nemesis planet. Avoid the appearance of bad weather. Typhoons, rainstorms, lightning, and other disaster weather on your Earth. It's powered by sunlight. When we absorb the energy of the stars above the planet, just use computer analysis. Which places should absorb more stellar light energy? Which areas should be less absorbed? So we can have a purpose. The planned reception of stellar light energy. Avoiding harmful weather at its source. Our goblin ball. There's never bad weather. Everything is under our control. And your planet has bad weather. A lot of people die every year from bad weather. Right? Yeah. If we Earthlings could gather the sun's energy. How nice is that? Brother Keon, you can build one when you go back. Is that so? You could be the richest man on Earth. Later, the four of us met in one place. As he was about to leave the Human Factory Launch Center, I suddenly saw an incredible phenomenon. I noticed that some of the room doors in the launch center were open. It is connected to space. Is that so? The air from the Human Factory Launch Center will flow into space. Will run out quickly. Why design it this way? I can't help but ask. Soodle points with his hand. You can go to the door and touch it yourself, and you will know. I ran to the door. Push with your hand. An invisible force blocked me. Oh, it's just a virtual wall. Because this virtual wall is not locked. The color confused me. And pretty soon, we're going through the Global Movement Network. Back at Willie's house. I'm still thinking about the Human Factory Launch Center. There are still many questions. Man Factory Launch Center. Why doesn't it affect people and the surrounding environment? But I found Willie Norton and Subtle. They are not interested in this question. Too lazy to answer me. They were talking about something else. So I have to stop.